You're building the empire
and we'll help you protect it.
because even the most powerful women
Still have trust issues.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Trust Issues. Listen, I am one of your hosts. This is the place where money meets mindset, legal meets legacy, power meets protection. I'm one of your co-hosts, Erica Hall with EH Wealth Advisors, and I'm here with my sister, whom I love. Come on, girl. Who are you?
Yes, attorney Urenia Ricks-Johnson for Ricks & Associates, and I am so glad to be here with my sister as well.
Yes, I am your favorite financial advisor. You hear me? Your favorite financial advisor.
And I'm your favorite attorney. I'm your trusted attorney
That's right.
for everything concerning estate planning and your business and individually. I'm your girl.
You got to have one.
You got to have one.
You got to have some trusted folks in your corner, trusted people on your team. And it's funny, on my way over here, I was just talking to someone and just talking about how it's just sometimes, why is it so difficult for us women to come together and make it happen?
I just think that it's just a lot of factors involved. You know, as women, we go through a whole lot in a day. On a daily basis, from upbringing to all those things being constant. And sometimes we just have some trust issues.
We have some trust. You get great play on words.
Yes, we just have some
sister.
issues that we just need to work through. And the more we talk to people, the more we unpack that we're not alone.
We're not alone. While at the same time, it's the women who have all that strength who can bring everything together. As a matter of fact, when they talk about the writer of Project 2025, that he did his thesis, his studies in African American history and culture, and what he discovered was that the sisters were the ones, or are the ones, that are the backbone of community.
And that's so true. And I think that that's the reason why the attack is always on the sisters with coming together. Because, when we do come together, we can do a lot.
We come together for real. We come bringing all this that we don't realize how great and grand it is until we connect it together.
That's true.
So this episode today is entitled Trusted Time Together.
And we're better together.
We are
I think
better
that's
together.
Another part of, and the Bible is true. About two is better than one. And the reason why I think that scripture is so important is because I think a lot of times we're not meant to do life alone.
Oh, no. You can't.
We were never meant to. That's the reason why, even in the beginning, God said it himself. It's not good for man to be alone. Right? And that's and I think that sometimes we don't understand the importance of that. And if God noticed that, why don't we understand the importance of community and the importance of being together?
That's the only way we're going to make it.
That's
the only way we're going to make it. You can go so much further
together.
With someone, with a team, with a group of people who can take the loads, be your strength when you're down, be your help for the things that you aren't great at. So today I really want to unpack some of the skills that we need to develop as individuals, but particularly today as women, because when we develop this skill and we hone this skill, it's going to change the trajectory of our careers, of our lives. And so I think if I can share this with, if somebody get this, this is the only thing you get today. This is a skill you want to develop. One, you remember Shayla Crosby did the workshop, and she said that, when you are in certain stages of your life, when you can't chase money, the other thing that's your currency, when you aren't making a whole lot of money, the other thing that's your currency are relationships. They're relationships that you're building, you're networking, people that can be your sponsors, who can talk about you and invoke your name in rooms that you'll never enter in.
And relationships, and I think that sometimes as women, and let me say this, I think that sometimes, and I dare to say this, I think that as women, we don't even understand. I think men have developed a greater concept of networking sometimes than women.
They make it look so easy.
And I think that they understand the importance of it more sometimes than women. I'm not saying that for all women, but I just think that sometimes I think it's harder for us because of the preconceived notions, the things that we've experienced. We bring all that to the table, but I think that men sometimes are able to just put all that aside and say, I need to get with this person.
Oh yeah. And it's not that the relationship is just transactional. It's you're just better together. You could just can expand your reach. You can just do more.
Yes.
With more networking, and I think that's great, especially for us busy professionals. Yeah, we want to be great in what we do, but we need help. We need and at every stage.
And being able to ask for that help, but be able to ask for that help in a trusted space. You know, having the right people around you where you can be yourself. You can be transparent.
The
you can
walls come down.
Yes, definitely. And you can really get to know exactly who you are and still be that person after the moment is over.
Yeah, and all the pretenses can you can just take off the mask and just be yourself. So today we're diving into why time together. We call it fellowshipping, spending time, trusted time, why it matters, those kind of gatherings that we need to have. And one of the reasons that we decided to talk about this is because we have decided, you and I, we've decided to not just do work together, but to play together, have fun, fun time, just unwinding time, and girlfriend time.
Yes, and I think that also helps us to give each other grace, to understand each other better.
Yeah.
Because we operate although we're alike, we still operate in two different sectors.
Yes.
You know, the advisor, the attorney, even though I sometimes act as an advisor, but from a financial standpoint, I don't do what you do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think the time of fellowship helps us to relate to each other more too.
Definitely.
Helps us to understand and give each other that consideration and grace.
Yeah. So, trusted time. What is that?
I think it's time where you can be yourself. You can take down the walls, the mask of having to be all things to all people at one time that women have to do. And you're able to really just spend that time and just do some of the things with some of the people that you enjoy spending time with, and actually taking that time to be intentional about spending time together.
Yeah. I'm thinking too, not only do I not have to be perfect, my makeup don't got to be perfect, my hair don't got to be perfect, but it's a place where I can make mistakes and not be judged and not be like, oh, you're going to think differently of me. That grace you talked about. I want some grace because I'm still growing. I'm still learning. There are things that maybe I haven't had to make that decision before. But the thing that's constant is my love, my integrity, my ethics and all those types of things. And I do need to regularly exhale. I need to exhale. I don't need to wait to exhale. I need to
Exhale now.
I need to exhale on a regular basis. And sometimes, okay, listen. Sometimes I after we've spent time together, you and I, or if I'm with someone, Because only like my sister used to say, I'm tired of talking about that.
Right.
Can we talk about something else? And so I haven't had too many friends that will, will be that candid with me or that straightforward.
Challenge, yeah.
Right. And so that, most people think that you want you want them to listen, but you got to say, it's time to stop talking about that. So I'll be like, I wonder if I talk about that too much. I wonder if I talk about that too much. I'm always, because this is the season of life that I'm in. Mm-hmm. And so this is my conversation. And it's important for someone or the people that I'm spending my time with that they're able to be in there with me. But don't let me wallow.
and like you said, and then it's knowing the people around you enough to say, hey, I need to figure out how I can be there for you in those moments too, with each other.
Yeah.
And it's considering each other. And I think that's the great thing about fellowship is that you consider one another. Mm-hmm. And you actually are looking to see what's the best for each other when you're doing that time of fellowship. And that's why it's important.
Yeah. And cover one another. I like when you said that because, we always want to be on point. And to someone else look on the outside looking in, you wanna be on point, but your friend or your confidant covers you when you're having those moments. So good. Yeah.
And I think that you always need that. And because as I stated, we have so many hats and so many things that we do on a daily basis. In order to have someone that you can trust to be yourself with and woosah, like you said, excel at any given moment, it's priceless.
It is. And, I want to, I'm always, since we are in the sorority together and we are allowed around a lot of dynamic, excellent, professional women. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, who are at the top of their game, captains of industry. I want to ask you some questions.
Okay.
About some relationships that we should have.
Okay.
What do you think about? Do you have mentors? Do you have mentors right now in your life?
I do have mentors. I have different mentors for different aspects of my life. I have mentors in the legal field, like a trust. I have mentors in ministry.
Yeah.
Mothers that that have really mentored me throughout my years in church and in ministry that are my sounding board for guidance.
Yeah.
And I just have mentors when it comes to just things in life. People that I can trust and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? And somebody to be honest with me. What about you?
Yes. Oh, definitely. I have mentor. I have a mentor in my career. I've always had mentors in this area of business, and that's how I got into the business. I do have a spiritual mentor, and I also have mentors that they don't know they're my mentor. I just
from afar off.
Yeah,
right?
I watch them. I watch their lives. I watch what they do from afar off. We may not talk every day, but they do have something to offer that I like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have mentors. I think it's important and my mentors have changed.
Yes, and they do. I think they evolve with you.
Yeah.
I think that you get to the point where you can say, what do I need to glean from these people during this time? When I was single, I would say, I have different mentors than now. And I'm married in different stages of my life.
Different stages, yeah.
But then I have mentors that have been consistent through my singleness, through married life, through having children, and all those things that are constantly, like I said, my sounding board that tell me, even when I don't want to hear it, what's happening, what I need to know.
Exactly.
What I don't need to know. And then I know that they're praying for me. That's my mama. Without question, yes.
My mama's like, she like check every box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and
right?
my mother as well. She's that spiritual mentor that I know that bottom line, that's what she's doing. She praying.
She
Barbara
praying
Coleman
for me.
is praying for me.
Right.
She watching this episode too.
And that sounded right. That sounding board.
Mm-hmm.
That one that's gonna speak truth. That's not gonna let me get away with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's my biggest supporter, my biggest fan. So she checks a whole lot of boxes. And I've watched my mother grow through different stages of her life. And so definitely I've come up through the place of life where I believe that the women in my life, they need to be in one of those categories. They either need to be a friend, like in my family, like my sister, my daughter, my mom. Those women, they need to be in one of those categories.
Exactly.
It should always be one of those things where we have I'll just say I've been seeking those relationships. I work on those relationships so that we can be best
In
friends.
that category,
Yeah, confidants, holding each other accountable, giving one another grace. Yeah, and because my mom is my elder, my sister's my elder, but we're more closer in age, more closely knitted. And then my daughter is that next
Just
generation.
that next generation,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And just having those mentors and having that people in your life that submit to those categories, I think that is so important. And realizing where they're at, because sometimes they can fulfill those roles at different stages in your
times.
life.
I told you, my sister was like, girl, I'm tired of talking about that.
And we go sounding more, right?
We go through these seasons where we're together all the time, we're talking all the time, and then we may not talk all the time. And but there's no change in the relationship.
Okay.
Right? There's no change in the relationship. And so that's kind of what I came to expect from girlfriends, because I had that with my sister. And that foundation kind of attracted me, or that's what attracted me to people that would be in my life. It's a person that no drama. My sister's no drama.
She no drama.
She laid the foundation. No drama. I'ma always love you, and I'ma tell you what you need to know.
Right?
Yeah, tell you what you need to know, and we're gonna have some fun.
Okay.
We're gonna have fun, and we may not talk all the time, but know that
I got your back.
Yeah,
and I think that's important. I had, because I don't have any sisters, I had cousins like that are growing up, that it was always that consistency in that relationship, that it was, like you said, it was the acknowledgement of when we were right and when we were wrong. It was a consistency that we have. And then it's like you said, we may not talk every day, but I know you got my back.
Yeah, that's good. So now the flip side of that is your mentees. Are you a mentor?
I am. To quite a bit of young ladies. In fact, we have a mentoring program through CDI, my nonprofit. So we do provide mentoring to young attorneys or young inspiring attorneys, because I've always wanted to do that, because I did not have that growing up. I didn't have anybody that I knew of that was an attorney in my family.
Yes.
Or a black woman that wanted to be an attorney.
Yeah.
My closest was Claire Huxtable.
I know, that's right. She was on fire.
That was
Go ahead, Claire.
That was my girl.
Yes.
That's who I looked up to. I was like, I'm going to be like Claire.
Claire Huxtable. I know that's right.
Be like Claire. That's who I'm going to be. I'm going to have my family. I'm going to still be a bad attorney.
It's so important.
And I love those my favorite episodes for the Cosby Show was when they were showing her being a lawyer. Like
in
when
court.
She took over for Sandra and was her attorney in court.
Yes.
I was like, yeah,
get it.
That's me.
Right.
That's me, right?
And she would read up and down. And what you're not gonna do.
What you're not gonna do is
yes.
Or even when like her son with Theo didn't want her to get involved, but she ended up getting involved and things like that. I find myself, even with my son, like, doing, even though when I know he wants to handle things on his own, I can see myself doing that. Like, okay, I'm gonna make you think I'm gonna just go talk to him, and then I'm gonna just go get into business because I know what to say.
I know,
you don't know what
right.
to say.
You don't know what to say. That's right.
And you don't know that you don't know what to say.
And that's the whole reason he has you. That's the whole reason they have parents and those who have been that wisdom. That's right. That's why mentoring, I think, is a great growing experience for you if you're a mentor, because it helps you learn how to approach people, how to value people for where they are, and like you said, you have all these different. You may have a number of different people that you mentor. Each one is going to require something different, right? But you're still trying to be encouraging, meeting them where they are. Their minds work differently. They think differently, and so you got to be encouraging in what you say. So yes, I have some folks that I mentor, and I just love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's like I get to pour. I raise my children, still raising them. They're raising me too.
Right.
But now I get to pour into others, and just watch how they develop and grow and all that kind of stuff. Which reminds me, by the way, I was sitting at a restaurant the other day, just sitting at the bar, having dinner. And there was a person sitting next to me having dinner, and we struck up a conversation, a young lady. And by the time we finished, not only is she my new mentee, but she wants to be an attorney. So I told her I'm going to introduce her to you. Okay. Yes.
Sounds
so this
good.
is we're going to make the introduction. Let's because this is the value. This is what I'm trying to express and show them, is that when you focus on those relationships, like Shayla said, building your currency, relationships, and networking. I'm not an attorney, but I can introduce you to one, since this is what she wants to do. So she said she wants to go to law school. She needs some advice.
Okay. Yeah. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to help anyone within our sphere of influence that we can help.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
That's good. That's good. So, yeah. And I've watched them go from this stage to this stage, and I'm like, wow, Lord, I'm glad I got to see the manifestation of the benefit of what I was able to share with them.
And for me, I feel that my mentees have taught me so much.
Yeah.
Taught me so much about life, taught me so much about the next generation. And also, I feel that learning from your mentees helps you to be relatable, and also helps you to help them.
Yeah.
If you don't close yourself off to what they're doing,
right,
and don't shut them down with what they're doing, even though it's different than how you would do it.
Yeah. Oh,
because
definitely.
Law school now, for me, is totally different than how they experienced it. So when I'm talking to them about law school, talking to them about things,
really?
and of course I tell them about how things, the test, the bar exam is different. How you get into law school is totally different. How you actually have to present yourself, how the classes are different. Because even when I went to law school, I came in a time where in law school there was only one exam. At the end of the school year, you went throughout the whole class so I started in the fall, and from the September to December, you went to class every day. They did the Socratic method, where they would call on you and you had the briefcases and you had to answer the teacher. And if you didn't answer the teacher, you had to call on somebody else to answer the questions.
Okay.
Right? And then they would embarrass you if you got it wrong. The teachers would embarrass you if you got it wrong.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so it was all about making sure that you understood how to handle yourself when a client comes into your office, right?
Okay.
But you go throughout the whole year. So even though you're going through that Socratic method, you get no points for class participation. You get no points for anything connected to that. At the end of the semester, you take one exam, pass or fail.
Pass or fail.
Right?
Yeah.
And then when we checked I went to Cooley Law School, and when we checked our grades, it was called the Wailing Wall. So we had to go over to the wall.
I already know what that's about. Yes.
And
you either going to celebrate
or
wail.
you're going to be wailing. Right?
Oh, Lord.
But now it's totally different. Everything is online.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about nobody looking at your show. They have midterms. They have class participation. Because I was talking to my mentee. She was like, yeah, we got class participation points. I said, where they do that at?
Yeah. It's completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Than how I experienced it. But imagine me trying to teach them my method and not understanding like what
things have changed.
Things have changed
I
and
get
what
it.
they're up against now. But the foundations of the law, that's what I can still teach them.
Oh, yeah.
Right? On how to apply the law, what to do when a client comes into your office, all those things. I can do those things.
Practical experience.
Yes.
You have the case studies. You have so what would you do, if this happened to you? And I'm thinking about, because I think about whenever I get a resource, I have a group of people that I share the resource with, right? Because somebody was asking me, when I told them that I'm a mentor, they was like, oh, so do you have a program? Is it formal? Is it, you have a schedule of when? I'm like, no, they're just always on my heart, on my mind. I'm always considering them. Whenever I come into something, I take upon the mindset that if I eat, you eat, right?
That's true.
When I get this new experience, or my other thought is I'm looking at where they are in life. And we talked about you're in these different seasons, the different quarters of life. And just like the young lady that I met at the restaurant the other day, she was like, just feeling like this is all there is. And we do. I remember thinking that. And that's why you need a mentor. You need a fabulous woman who is like 20 years your senior, 15, 20 years your senior, who is doing the doggone thing, making it happen. So you could be like, oh, wait, I still got time. Because I was like, girl, you can still go to law school. She was like, I'm too old. I said, no, you're not. I said, I'm thinking about going to law school.
Yeah.
I just want the experience, because I like just knowing what I know. I love getting knowledge, and it's not so much to practice, but it can just sharpen what I do.
And you also get, and people don't understand, you get a doctorate degree. It's a Juris Doctorate.
Yeah.
So it's an advanced degree.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have that advanced degree and don't even practice law.
That's where I got it from. I had a mentor in my life, Sister Jerry Johnson. I say her name.
Say her name.
She was one of my clients, and God rest her soul. But she was Claire Huxtable. She was a Claire Huxtable, okay? And she went to law school at 65, 60 years old or something like that, got her law degree, her JD, didn't practice. She said, I just want to be sharp. I said, oh, it just changed my perspective of what's possible. You don't have to, the decisions, and just like I was telling her then, the decisions that you've made today, they're not final.
They're not final.
You can still, you're mad about, or you're feeling defeated about decisions that you've made in the past that have gotten you here today, but you still in the first quarter of your life. She said, I am. I said, yeah, girl. You got 3 more. Right. I opened that perspective, right? I said, you got 3 more quarters to go. And you can just catapult during your second quarter to where, your life is real good, and you don't even remember. You got to be reminded about how you struggled in your first quarter, so that you can help somebody else, and it helps you to appreciate the work that you've done to get to where you are. So that's why it's so important to reach up and to reach down. Yeah, yes. Because you have to be connected. You want to have that intergenerational experience in your life, because like you said, your mentees, they influence you.
They influence me.
They keep you young.
You keep you going, right? And you learn from them.
Oh my God! I was like, what is this?
Yes.
What we? Oh, yeah, yes.
Constant teachable moments, and those are things that I think that what mentorship does, it helps you to open your mind to being teachable.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we get to the point, and that's another reason why sometimes we're not able to network or just be with another woman, because we feel like we got the cap. We feel like we got the cap on everything because we've experienced so much, right?
Yeah.
But there's always those teachable moments, because the worst thing that you can is not the fact that you can't. When I taught introduction to law, and the main thing that I was trying to let my students know is because when you come into law school, you already got one degree. So you're very sharp. You already are, but you have to make sure that you're teachable.
Yeah.
Because this is a different way of learning.
It is. And it requires a different level of
but you have to be open to it.
Analytical.
So if you're not
solving
open
and
to
decision
it,
making,
then you're not going to get it because you're not opening your mind. Because if you're thinking about memorization, when I tell you it's about application, and you're already smart, it doesn't mean that you won't be successful, but you just won't be successful here because you haven't opened your mind to application.
Right. Listen, I think that this is a really great topic, but we almost have run out of time. Before we go, I want to hit on, how do we do it? How do we carve out or be more intentional about these relationships? Did you just like meet some girls on the streets like, y'all come on in here? You know, how do those relationships happen? How does one become a mentor and a mentee?
I think you have to be intentional. I think that, for me, it was an object of prayer. It was the object to, ask the Lord to send me the right people around me.
Amen.
And then also the third part about it was I prayed to God about discernment, because sometimes we can think that these people are the right people for us, but they're really not. So praying and asking God for discernment was a major thing for me to understand, or also to understand how far, if these people are in my life for all seasons or just for one season.
Right, because these are relationships. And sometimes they're easy to get in and not so easy to get out. That's hiring, right?
That's yes.
Connecting yourself to someone who you didn't realize was such a drain.
Yes, and then knowing how
needy.
much you could yes. Oh my gosh. And I know this firsthand. And also just being at a point where you can feel, we talked about letting your guard down. That's a very vulnerable place to be in, to do that, and then for it to be taken advantage of. It makes us put up walls.
It does. And then for them to think you stupid. Like,
what? Like, why would you think that?
You don't think I know what you're doing? Yeah. I find it, and then decide to love on them anyway.
And then that's the part that the God in us, it constrains us to do that, to love people even. And that is so hard because your flesh and you want to just say, I'm done. But when God requires you to, and this has been a lot of relationships that I've experienced, God requires me to go back and still love on that person, because it's not just about me.
Here's
it's
that
about
moment.
Me representing him.
Right. And giving them the opportunity to realize what just happened here. Yep. And God cares for you so much that he's going to not only give you discernment, but give that person the opportunity to right the wrong, learn from the experience, and even maybe mend the bridge or something like that. I don't know. Well, listen, we have run out of time. This has been great. I love talking to you because it's just, just some good time of fellowship.
That's what we do. And we know that we have these receipts. We've established this relationship, and it's a trusted relationship. So make sure that if you learned anything from this episode, make sure you like, share, subscribe to Trust Issues, because we're giving some great information, but we are committed to giving you all this information and providing a space for you to understand the importance of having trusted relationships.
It's so important. It'll make your life so much more fruitful, so full. And networking is a skill. It's a skill, and you want to start developing that early in life. And you want to be good at it too.
And we're going to be good at it. And that's what we're going to do in 2026. We're going to be good at it.
That's right. That's it. All right, girl. Well, it's time to wrap it up. And I am Erica Hall with EH Wealth Advisors.
And I'm Urenia Ricks-Johnson with Ricks & Associates, PLLC.
And thank you for tuning in to Trust Issues. We'll see you next time.
See you soon.